Hello, everyone. I'm going to present the presentation. So hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Etai, and I'm the CEO of Brightcom. Brightcom is a publisher solution company, and we share with our publishers products for years, actually. And welcome to our event. And I believe that digital audio is going to be a great opportunity for you, for the publishers. Let me start with two quotes. We think the digital audio is that audio is also going to be first-class medium. Every once in a while, a new medium comes along that can be adopted into a lot of different areas. These two quotes are by Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook CEO. Let me continue with the agenda. We are going to speak about numbers and facts. What is digital audio? Types of digital audio trends and monetization, Google insights and tips, and benefits for you. Let me start with a question. What is the percent of the people between age 12 to 24 that streams audio in the US? Guys, please enable the survey.
Okay, the attendees can vote right now. They are voting. We'll give them a few seconds. Okay, I will close the survey in 10 seconds from now, and we'll show the results. Okay, so I'm closing right now, and I'm showing the results.
That's great. So actually, you are very close. 83% of 12 to 24 years old are now streaming audio weekly. And streaming audio is actually becoming an integral part of our day-to-day. Actually, 50% of the adults in the US are using digital audio these days, are streaming audio these days, when 83% of them are between this age. This just shows the potential, the future potential of this crowd, of this audience. Let me continue with the numbers. Here we can see the time that the US adults spend, the hours that the US adults spend on digital audio compared to radio. And actually we can see that 2020 was the first year the digital audio, the time that the US adults spend on digital audio is higher than radio. And it continues this year. Now let's see the growth of revenues of spend by device, and we can see here 2019 to 2020 a comparison. We can see that there is 6% growth in desktop audio. There is 15% growth in mobile audio, and in average there is 13% growth. And where are you in all of this? Because generally, you know, there is an amazing opportunity for every of the sites in the world to add digital audio, right? So you can generate a completely new revenue stream by adding digital audio. You can offer many products of digital audio, and we will speak about it very soon. No matter which path you choose, no matter which product you choose, you will increase the time on your site, you will increase the user engagement, and increase monetization. So actually giving users and access to audio is good for you at the bottom line. I would like you to see a video of actionable audio ads. And as a part of our panelists, there is a company named Instreamatic. And Instreamatic, they're doing an actionable audio ads.
Right now, the weather is cold and wintry. You can expect yet more morning. So course. Oh, sorry, I always feel tired on days like this. If you feel this way, try Barocca Boost with caffeine to improve alertness and vitamin B12 to help reduce tiredness and fatigue. Switch on your Monday morning. Say launch Barocca Boost on this device now.
Alexa, launch Barocca Boost.
Welcome to Barocca Boost. Would you like to order some Barocca Boost tablets and hear more information about the product?
Order.
Would you like to order a package of 20 Barocca Boost using your default payment method and address?
Yes.
Product details from Amazon. Would you like to buy it?
Yes.
Thank you for ordering Barocca Boost.
Now what?
Great. So we could see here an actionable audio ads. This is going to be a part of our future. It can be an opportunity for many devices, and it was important for me to show it to you. And Instreamatic is going to speak about it later on. Let's speak about digital audio products. As you know, there are many products of digital audio. One of them is radio, AM, FM online stations. There is the music streaming services, there are podcasts and user comments and text-to-speech and there are many other products which you can choose for your website. I would like to move and speak about key trends, three key trends in digital audio advertising. And one of them is maybe the most important trend for your website. It's actually programmatic audio advertising, which is exactly the same as traditional banners and display and video advertising. You can now start monetizing audio advertising programmatically. If we are speaking about the product of programmatic audio, there is the companion ads, which we know from the video world. I mean, there are banners which advertisers can now buy near the digital audio. There are the rewarded video ads, which is not restricted by ad blockers. And it has a 100% completion rate. And the CPMs are generally high. It can reach to $30 CPM and $40 CPM. Audio comments, and as a part of our panel, we are going to host Heyoya. Yoyo is going to speak about the audio comments. Articles to audio. So TrinityAudio is going to speak about it later, but it's simple as that. I mean, the unit is going to read the content of the page. And podcast, everyone is familiar with podcast, and you can add podcast to your website. You can create your own podcast, or you can bring it from outside. Trend number 2, interactive audio advertising. So actually brands can now encourage listeners to react to ads using voice comments and take actions immediately. And Instreamatic is going to speak about it. It is enabled actually by rapid adoption of smart speakers combined with innovative technology. Trend number 3, it's actually digital out of home. I'm sure that some of you knows about digital out of home, and actually digital audio is going to be coordinated with any other format. And this type of advertising is going to boost engagement and drive performance. And this is a part of the holistic approach of brands. I was a part of Google presentation last month, and Google is now on beta stage. And they actually started to allow brands and advertisers to buy programmatic audio in Google Ad Manager. And this is a part of the presentation actually. When can you use audio ads? You can use it for text-to-speech, streaming radio, music streaming, and podcast. And actually, when Google is there, Amazon is there, Apple is there, and Facebook is already there, there is an immediate opportunity. And I believe that opportunity for you is to create new audio supply. And the key is to create new supply opportunities, because the market is looking, the brands are looking for new supply opportunities. I would like to speak about other benefits for you, actually, for the publishers, because at the end of the day, we are here in order to reach new products, to implement new products, and to increase our revenues, right? So actually, we spoke about audio, which is not being blocked by the ad blockers. And it's not visible to the ad blockers, so you will not lose revenues. The levels of the CPMs, the revenue CPMs, are so high that it can reach to $40 CPM. Audio doesn't depend on the size, screen, or picture resolution. So you can implement the audio unit anywhere in the page. The user experience is very good too, because there are going to be zero creative issues compared to the traditional advertising. And I believe, and I checked it with our technology guys, it's going to be easy and fast to integrate the product. And I believe that the future of audio advertising is now. Thanks for listening. I'm going to move the microphone to Daniel Ravner, which is the founder and the CEO of The Perspective, a publisher that Brightcom worked with for years.
Thank you, Etai, very much. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. As said, I'm the founder of theperspective.com, which is a multi-award-winning website that shows you two sides of every story, using psychology to circumvent rejection to the other side points of view. I would say I'm a medium-sized publisher, and as such, you know, in the landscape, it's not easy to compete. It's not easy to make sufficient revenue, and Brightcom has been immensely helpful in that aspect since pretty much day one. And one of the things we want to do in order to fight above our weight is to capitalize on opportunities, on new opportunities. And audio seems to be exactly such an opportunity. And I was thrilled at the invitation of Brightcom to come and moderate this panel as a publisher, as part of you, and to ask questions that I don't have any answers for. And to create this panel, we have three guests. All of them are the pallbearers. They're the people who lead the audio revolution, and they do it in a very practical day-to-day manner. So they're going to have some wonderful insights for us, and pretty much they're going to show us doors through which myself and hopefully you can enter. So the three people with us are going to be Ron Jaworski. He is the CEO and founder of TrinityAudio.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Pleasure being here.
Same here. Our second panelist is Lior Zaidner, Chief Revenue Officer at Heyoya.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
Sure, thank you for coming. And our third panelist is Charles Andrew Whatley, who is commonly referred to as Andy. He is the Senior Vice President of Global Partnerships and Business Development at Instreamatic. So, hello.
Thanks for having me. Jordan, glad to be here.
Wonderful. Guys, all right, so again, great to be here. We're psyched to provide insight and value to our publishers. But I want to start you off with learning about your solutions, because again, you were chosen very specifically for the very pragmatic solutions that you have in that space. So let's start with Ron. If you can walk us through TrinityAudio for the next 2 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'll be short. As Etai in the presentation said, our solution is quite simple and intuitive. We leverage textual content and turn it into audio, and then help in distribute it, monetize it, and manage it on our platform. It first of all answers a basic need, which is the option to listen to the content instead of reading or watching. And this is the first phase of it, and then the second phase of it is of course taking all this content and leverage it in all the platforms that you are familiar with, whether it's Spotify, Google Podcast, or smart speakers like Google Home or Nest, I should say Nest, and Alexa with their skills. And of course, in the publication world, it support either monetization via advertisement on one hand or subscription on the other. And we are quite excited, mainly working in the US market. Just released our solution with Forbes International, which is a great brand that we are super proud to work with, and many others as well. And this is it. And I'm glad to be part of this panel with another two pillars of the audio industry.
Wonderful, thank you. Lior, same question to you. Can you please take us a bit through Heyoya and your solution?
I'll try my best. So Heyoya is a voice comment platform for online publishers. basically any publisher who decided to integrate our solution to his site enable the site visitors to leave comments with their own voice. In addition, or instead, the more traditional way of leaving comments with text. We also allow rich media like video, emojis, images, and so on. There's a lot of added value by adding a Heyoya to your site. We don't have a lot of time here, so maybe I'll just focus on 3 of them. The first one would be SEO. We actually know how to wrap these comments, audio and text, and serve them to the different search engines, if it's Google or Yahoo and the others, which means that if somebody talks about a specific topic on your site, and then somebody the following week search this topic online, in some probability is going to see the comment in the search results, and by clicking on it would be redirected to the place where the comment was left, so back to your website. The second thing is we are kind of facing a cookieless world. I know a lot of people are kind of discussing it and trying to find solutions. So Yoyo actually works on a first-party cookie, which is the email identifier, and we are actually positioned very well positioned to actually help publishers with this transition in the very near future. And the third one, which is I guess why we are all here today, is the monetization. So Heyoya can actually generate a completely new revenue channel for publishers. We operate below the fold in the comment section, where we can integrate different type of adverts. It could be video, audio, display, and then I guess the topic of this discussion, the audio ads. We are creating new inventory for audio ads, which really have a lot of demand right now. I think Etai mentioned the fact that Google opened the Programmatic for the audio adverts. So we actually create inventory for publishers. There's a lot of demand, there's not a lot of inventory, CPMs are high, and we're giving the publishers the way to kind of be part of this, I guess, celebration of audio.
Wonderful, sounds great, thank you. And Andy, you're next. Please tell us about Instreamatic.
Oh, well, thank you very much for, again, having us here. And I'm going to show an ad in just a second, but just quickly, Instreamatic is a voice AI platform for dialogue advertising. Happy to say we just finished our Series A, and that included Google as an investor, Accomplice, and Progress Ventures. And essentially our mission is to revolutionize, that's a powerful word, but to revolutionize the ad industry by allowing users to speak with ads, skip irrelevant ads, and drive curiosity to learn more in a hands-free, screen-free environment just by saying so by voice. So dialogue advertising creates a huge win for everyone. Users get a better ad experience, advertisers can measure in real time campaign performance and engagement, and publishers benefit with higher ad rates, much higher, like higher than what you even said a moment ago, like $90 eCPMs and very, very high fill rates. We stand for building an open voice ad ecosystem. Our AI solutions are open for everyone, app developers, media companies, ad agencies, DSPs, SSPs, ad networks, everyone. So up until now, all previous ad formats have talked at consumers in that one-way monologue. New technologies like ours has created a whole new opportunity. Now, marketers can listen. Everywhere you look, you see people talking to devices, you see it every day. This new era of voice opens a whole new and what I think is a profound chapter in marketing. Brands can listen and speak with consumers just like I'm speaking to you right now. So voice ads, due to the dynamics of dialogue versus monologue, really represent an amazingly high level of engagement and advertising recall. We're talking 10 to 12% engagement rates, which are over the top high. So we're a tech platform, an end-to-end solution that enables conversational marketing. Today we do it in audio, and we're just releasing our video version of that as well. We also operate as an ad exchange, voice ad network, offering voice campaign traffic across networks around the world with many publishers. iHeart in the US is an example, Ghana in India, RMS in Germany, and on and on and on. We are a mobile play, and our technology works on any integrated iOS or Android native app or Android web browser. And I would like to point out just for 1 second, we do not work on smart speakers, not because there's a technical issue, but because all 4 companies right now do not allow you or anyone to insert interactive ads into smart speaker platforms. It's just a policy that doesn't exist. Now, as you may note, Google made an investment in us, so you can read the tea leaves and maybe that'll be changing. But for right now, no one can insert an interactive audio ad into a smart speaker platform. So we do it on native apps and on browsers. So I'm going to play a quick ad here and then we can move on pretty quickly because I don't want to eat up too much time. But I'm going to show you just a quick and simple ad. Every one of our ad campaigns begins with what we call the invitation to engage. And this is what that might. By the way, you can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go.
Hey there, our bank is introducing a new offering. We call it Extra Cash Never Hurt Nobody. When you open a bank account, we put $500 in it. But wait, there's more. We can put in an extra $500. Do you want to know how to get it?
So unlike a smart speaker, we don't use wake words. We open the microphone with our technology and we allow about 4 seconds for the response. The user could say anything. We use natural language understanding. We'll understand no matter what they say. So let's say, for instance, they said they were not interested.
Sure. I understand that you've heard too many bank commercials, and you probably think that this is just like all the rest. Believe me, it's not. If you want to learn how to cash in on $1,000, just say yes to this ad next time you hear it.
Or if they had said they were interested, we might answer like
That's
this.
the right choice, my friend. Open a checking account and a new credit card in our bank until the end of the month, and we'll put an extra $500 in your account. That's $1,000 of free money. Nothing helps get back on track like cash.
So at that point, we could open a web page, we could open a download page to download an app, we could put a phone number on the screen, all of the target actions, so we can drive performance of that particular ad campaign, or simply maybe say, would you like to learn more, and open a landing page. So that's kind of how the ads work, and we could go on forever about this, but I think we need to move on, and I hope that provides some overview and some understanding of what we do.
Indeed, and thank you, and it's fascinating. And I definitely think you should be the voice of audio. I mean, you can carry it. All right, so I'm going to start, Lior, with you. I want to ask you again. Most of the people attending this webinar are mobile and web publishers, mobile web and desktop publishers. So I wanted to know, what are the basic steps you think the publisher needs in order to assess his voice and audio strategy?
Very good question. I guess, first of all, in terms of kind of framework, mainly in terms of time, I think, and I guess the other guys in the panel can echo this as well, the trend towards audio started a couple of years ago, and it wasn't very fast. But in the last couple of months, I think about 6 or 7 months ago, with all the announcements from the giant media groups, I think Etai mentioned some of them, but Google, LinkedIn, you got Clubhouse, Amazon, Twitter with the auto tweet, with the voice tweet. It really shifted, and now the market is basically running towards audio. So if before it was a nice to have, the strategy, now it's a must have. So this is definitely something I would start considering and fast. More specifically to the question, when considering a new technology from a strategic point of view, I always like to look at 2 main points. The first one would be getting quick wins to get buy-in from the stakeholders. Stakeholders could be your online readers, it could be your editorial team, your commercial team, or people who invested or on the website. So the first thing, you need to see how you can generate quick wins. But then the second one is you need to see how this solution cater for the long run. So you need to make sure it makes your website, your domain, future-proof. So if you have these 2 points checked out in your strategy, you should be doing okay.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, the next question I want to ask Ron and Andy, actually. So what should desktop and mobile web-only publishers do today to capitalize on this movement? What should they do tomorrow to be ready? Ron, let's start with you.
I think that the first thing that they need to do, of course, is to create audio content. This is the first thing that they definitely need to do. There is no point in joining the audio revolution without audio content. Now, how do you create audio content? There are many various ways to do that. You can create your new podcast, or you can use narrators to read out your textual asset. You can use solutions like TrinityAudio that AI to turn your textual assets into audio. There are many different, if you have already, like a lot of the publication have also an offline assets that are relevant to audio, they can bring them to digitalize them, so to speak. and leverage them. At the end of the day, and this is what the most important thing that publisher, web publisher and mobile publisher, it doesn't really matter. Your consumers, your readers, your listeners want to consume audio. This is what you need to know, and this is where you need to follow. So this is the most important thing. Give them the option, and you need to remember that audio stands for new time throughout the day. And when I'm talking about new time throughout the day, the audio does not replace reading. It does not replace watching. It's new time that you can engage with your listeners because they are listening while they are driving or jogging or cooking or any other activity that they don't need to use their eyes or don't need to be fully focused on what they're doing right now. So I think the most important thing that the publication need to do tomorrow, or I would say even yesterday, is start creating your own audio content.
All right, that's a solid point. Andy, I would love your response to that question as well.
Okay, I think in our particular case, we are a mobile play, so desktop is not a consideration. The reason for that is simple. In order to be compliant with privacy rules and GDPR, CCPA, etc., around the world, we have to have mic permission and mic access. So part of our process is to gain that, and that of course happens on a mobile, not on a desktop very easily. So we're not a technology you would use for your desktop applications, but we are one that is super valuable for mobile devices. And like I said before, we work on any integrated iOS native app, any integrated Android native app, or any Android web browser. We just released that technology so we can now integrate with that. I think the big consideration here would be, well, you don't have to have mic permission already. If you don't have voice features or mic features right now, it's almost better because we can help you grow that through the use of our technology. One of the advantages that that the audience has when they enable their microphone, or one of the ways we encourage them to give mic permission, is that for the first time ever, they can skip irrelevant ads. So it's, if an ad comes on, you hear that intro, like the example I gave you, and it says, hey, Starbucks coffee here, how would you like to have coffee waiting for you tomorrow morning? And you say, I hate coffee. Yeah, all right, we'll try harder later, and goes back to the content. So it's a great user experience.
Gotcha. Okay, I want to get back to you, Lior, and ask you, when you add content to your website, and with the Heyoya, you know, it happens in the comment section, which I think gives it a new life. How does it affect the current monetization strategy? I mean, assuming you don't have audio now, and then having audio edited.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the great thing about audio is that it doesn't affect not just the monetization structure, but the layout of the website, because you run it on the player when it comes to the adverts. Specifically talking about Heyoya, as we are operating below the fold in the comment section, it has absolutely no effect on the current monetization. The thing is, it's just another basically inventory that you now need to consider. Basically, if you didn't have it before, you have additional revenue channel. And when it comes to audio, as I think Etai mentioned as well, the CPMs are very high. So definitely something to start thinking about.
Okay, you guys, Ron, from your experience, you know, how does adding audio affect the monetization of the website? Because I think with Trinity, it affects it directly, but also indirectly.
Correct. So I think the best example that I can speak of is the McClatchy Media Group in the United States. McClatchy is the second largest local media consortium in the US. They have 30 brands across the US. Miami Herald, for example, is one of the biggest one, and many others in the West and East Coast. So they actually did a test with us for something around 3 or 4 months. That ended last year, and then did a full launch of our solution on all of their website. And what they find out, they did an A/B test, and then they tried to see the engagement of a user that is consuming audio versus a user that is not consuming audio. And they saw that all the KPIs that, you know, as an editor, as a marketeer, as sales, it goes up. You see that the bounce rate goes down 60%. Time spent on page doubles. The recurring visits of a user go up 60%. Time spent on site goes up 50%. So basically an audio engaged user is a more engaged user in general. So I would say that putting aside the fact that you can monetize the audio traffic itself, okay, and with high CPM and everything is okay, at the end of the day, you have a more engaged user. So as we like to call this in TrinityAudio, you have collateral revenue because they stay more on the page, they see more ads in general, and not necessarily, even if they are reading, they know that they have the option of an audio experience, they will be a more devoted readers, listeners of your content. So that and it's something that you can check out. Go to the McClatchy PR with TrinityAudio, and you can see all the stats over there.
Wonderful, thank you. You guys talked about a cookieless world right now, which is, it's a huge deal because we've all been, we've all learned to talk about targeting. It's a huge part, targeting KPI, a huge part of what we're selling. And it seems that we're going back to a smart context kind of world, just because, in a cookieless world, you really don't have any other options. Andy, how do you see audio figures into this cookieless world?
Yeah, that's kind of a great one for us because we connect directly to the client side of the device, and one of the things that enables is us to provide a very unique level of accountability for publishers and advertisers. We provide a dashboard to every single advertiser with real-time data of an ad campaign. So an advertiser or marketer can watch that campaign. How many people said yes, they were interested? How many said no? How many were silent? And they can begin to optimize campaigns dynamically and on the fly while the campaign is live, and not wait till a report when it's over and say, oh, let's look at an attribution study or a brand lift study, and you've already spent all the money. In our case, we can do A/B testing and all those types of things that real-time data provides because we're connected directly to the mobile device. I would mention this also that our engagement rates, like I said, are average about 12%, but we see them as high as 20%. And that's when a user, a listener, engages by voice with an intelligible, relevant response. Even a no response is very valuable. We call it 50 Shades of No because you learn a lot in terms of insights about, is your campaign resonating to the audience? Do you need to change it? Do you need to change the target audience? So a no is just as valuable as a yes, but we learn a lot in real time through our data connection, and that's great for a cookieless world. Yeah.
Lior, I think Heyoya also has its own trick that helps with, especially on desktop, where I think it's even a bigger issue than mobile.
So it's both, it's applicable for desktop and mobile. I think I mentioned it earlier. We work with a first-party cookie, which is the email identifier. And basically, because we operate with voice comments, we know how to analyze users, not just in terms of what they said, but also how they said it. So we can create very accurate profile of the users and then serve relevant adverts. And we're more than happy to assist any publisher who integrates Heyoya. With this transition, we can provide them with everything they need in terms of first-party cookie, so they can keep doing targeting for the adverts.
All right. So I mean, moving on the same theme of knowing exactly who your user is, Ron, how do you see personalization figure into an audio world?
Well, that's a great question. I think the way we see it, at least in TrinityAudio, and this is where we are pushing forward, is to give the listener the option, first of all, to create its own playlist, meaning, and this is one of the features that we are working right now, to basically, as you have read for later on LinkedIn or something like that, to have the same option on the pages of the publisher, and then the reader, the listener, can go back and then have a playlist of the content you like to consume. This is one thing. And of course, we have our own AI recommendation, a system that takes into consideration what the user usually like to listen and read. Because we are on every page of the publisher, we meet the user not only when he's listening, but also when he's reading. So we do understand his preferences, in regards to the content that he likes to consume. And of course, with what is hot right now, we do see which article or which piece of content is being consumed more, again, whether it's being read or being listened to. So we actually can create the best playlist for a specific user. This is one thing. On the publisher side, our basically any piece of content TrinityAudio creates automatically being uploaded to a CMS, which any publisher, of course, credentials to those CMS, and he can start managing his own content. So he's not only getting the content that we are creating for him on the article page, he then can go to the CMS, create playlists, and embed it either on his homepage, for example, if he wants to have an audio experience on his homepage, or he can just upload it to Spotify and have I don't know, top 10 news of the day, or what is the spotlight on sports today, or this week, or things like that. So the users can consume the content on any platform, anytime, and it can be basically based on the publisher recommendation and AI recommendation or the user preferences. So all of that is personalization and on both sides. At the end of the day, I would say that definitely TrinityAudio is focusing on audio experience. Okay, this is what we want to do. We want to create an audio experience, and we want to help publication to build the world of audio that they want to offer their users, and definitely personalization is a big part of it.
All right, cool, thank you. I want to move to a lightning round. You know, keep it lively enough. About the numbers, and then it's an audio monetization webinar. So how do the numbers look like? You know, what kind of CPMs, what kind of RPMs do you guys see? And let's start with Lior and have all three of you answer.
So obviously, you know, RPM can change according to geo and you know, where the widget is located on the website, the ability and so on. But I think what's great about, and I think Ron touched it briefly, when users are more engaged, they stay longer on the website, and that can contribute directly to the monetization. And that's something we see even below the fold. So we can see, you know, on a start on European website, you can see that we can have 300 or 400% fill for the same slot, which means that even if the CPM is $1.5, the RPM would be $5, $6. We also sometimes see $9 for like a very average website in Europe.
Andy?
Yeah, because we're selling an engagement, not an impression, we don't sell typically by cost per thousand or CPM. We sell by cost per engagement. So we charge for engagements. And right now around English-speaking countries around the world, we see about a 90-cent cost per engagement. At our level of engagement, that translates to about a $90 eCPM. So it's a rather high yield, probably the highest of any ad unit that is available today, be it video, audio, you name it. So we see that. Like I said, our average engagements run between 10 and 12% on the average, but as high as 20. And our level of interest, when somebody says I'm interested, of course that varies by the product, the service that's being advertised, the target audience. However, we see that running between 4% and 6%. So when you compare that to like mobile click-through rates of 0.6 or whatever, it is many, many multiples higher. And so the performance of these ads are actually at the core of our value proposition and very significant.
Interesting. Roland, your answer.
Yeah, so I think audio monetization. First of all, the great news, and also Etai talked about it at the beginning, is that, you know, it's easy to integrate programmatic solutions right now. They are a leading name in the industry, and Instreamatic is one of them that is live and kicking in the industry. And for solutions like Heyoya and TrinityAudio, they are obvious relevant partner. By the way, side note, and I will talk in CPM in a minute. The great thing about audio right now, at least, is you can see all those three companies that are talking right now, and we all engage with one another, we talk with one another, we help one another, and I think it's a great space to be in. You know, it's a blue ocean. This is, I would say, definitely a fun part of being a part of the audio revolution right now. My guess is it won't stay like this for years, but for the time being, this is where we are.
Best, yeah.
We're
Yeah, I think one of the things you said earlier at the discussion, and I think it's worth noting again, that there is much more demand than supply right now.
Depends on which countries. Depends on which countries. I would say on from what we are seeing, and we are spread quite broad. I would say that in the US, completely right. In other geos, we don't see that every audio opportunity is being filled. We don't see 100 filled. For example, I don't know, India, for example, we see less than 20%. In the Southeast Asia, even less than that. Latin America, somewhere around the 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60%. UK, US, those markets definitely we can see in some cases even more than 100% fill rate due to the fact that several ads on the same session. In that, in regards to the CPM, by the way, just to answer the question prior to that, basic programmatic CPM can go to $3, $4, $5 and go up as long as targeting, contextual, and things go up to 20, 25 easily. But this is this is the area. By the way, we are also a part of Google beta in regards to programmatic audio ads, and they are improving significantly both in CPM and fill rate. So they are doing a great job on their end, and definitely if Google is getting into the field, this is a amazing indicator that you should put focus on the audio industry.
That's awesome. I'm going to ask you one more, lightning round question to all three of you, and then we have a few questions from the audience which I want to at least tackle 2 or 3 before we're done, because time sure flies. So the fast questions is obviously, if I want to use your solution against Trinity, Heyoya, or Instreamatic, very shortly, what do I do next? What do I do tomorrow if what I heard is interesting to me and I want to advance with it? What would be the next move? And again, let's move at the same round. Lior, start, please.
So specific about Heyoya, it's very simple as integrating one line of JavaScript code. You can do it all by pinging me right after this webinar. You have my details, or you can just go on our website, heyoya.com, create an account, and our tech team will be more than happy to give you all the support you need. But we can basically go from like tomorrow morning, go live with the adverts.
Thank you. Andy?
Yeah, ours is a little more complex than that because we have to get access to the microphone, but we provide an open source SDK that can be used to integrate with us that gives access all the way through the microphone, or we could provide an API and the client, the customer, the publisher can do it on their own. It's pretty straightforward. We provide full documentation and assistance, but it is a little bit more than one line of code. So as you can guess, it's fairly complex to get access to a microphone in real time and do what we do to enable a dialogue between a consumer and a brand. But still straightforward, not terribly hard.
And Ron, you, what
So first of all, you are more than welcome to ping me on LinkedIn or write me an email, ron@TrinityAudio.ai. You can also go to the website and leave your details, and our support team will contact you. At the end of the day, JavaScript, quite similar to your JavaScript on the page, a few minutes of integration, and you don't need a full R&D team to do it, and you are live and kicking, and your user can enjoy audio tomorrow morning if you want to.
I got a message from Brightcom right now saying that the publishers on this webinar who are Brightcom publishers, the account manager will be happy to assist, connect you directly with any of the companies and help you with setup. So you can also do that. So we don't have a lot more time. We have 5 more minutes, and there are more questions than that. So let's take just a few, try to answer them shortly to keep everybody happy. Joe asked, what are the programmatic SSPs that have demand today for this supply? Which one of you wants to answer this?
I can answer, or Ron, what do you want?
Go ahead, Leo.
I'll start. You can complete, maybe. Before Google announced their programmatic solution, The main company was Triton Digital. They're very limited, if I'm honest, supply mainly in North America, mainly in the US. But then since Google launched their own programmatic, it's another great source. So these are kind of the two main ones for us.
All right, I'm going to ask one question.
I will just.
Sorry?
I will just add that from what we are seeing, also AdWiz and TargetSpot are can be relevant partners as well. But in many cases, all of those SSPs are bundled, all of them together. So there's not necessarily mean that if you have all of them, you'll have much more revenue, but it's worth trying.
And I would say that we're accessible also. We're programmatically capable and we are accessible. We're partnered with Triton, but you could even use AdWiz to access us and manage your campaigns and make ad request calls to our server.
Andy, actually, the next question is for you. What does your solution provide the advertisers from a creative standpoint?
Yeah, because of the fact that very few brands or tier 1 agencies have experience doing voice-enabled ads, because this is a new technology, we provide full support. We provide best practices documentation. Our ads are very different because one of our voice ads probably is 9 or 10 clips of audio, plus a target action like a web page to go to or a landing page. So we actually will turnkey it for them. We offer it as a service. It's not really the business that we're in, but we do because we're most experienced at developing this creative. So whether they want to do it or they want us to do it, we can handle it at any level, and we're happy to do that. It is new, so it's unique.
All right, thank you. And we have time for one more question. So Ron, you'll get a shot at that question. Michal wrote that you mentioned that Google kicked off as a strong buyer. Do they have a strict policy around audio ads?
No, I think that the good thing about audio is we are in experience mode. So not all the restriction that is familiar with display and with video is not there yet. There is not like a KPI of viewability that is coherent across the board, or as they call it, audibility. So there's not, of course, there are the regular things. They are measuring the traffic. Let's see if the traffic is genuine and things like that. But this is come as a given. But no, there's not a stricted KPI. I would say that from what we are seeing, and by the way, not only Google but all the others, mainly is LTR, which is listen through rate, how much of the ad was being listened to, and I would say that definitely this is the most one. If there are these companion ads to the audio ad, then it's also the click rate on the display ad, but they don't very much look at the performance in regarding to the display. It doesn't make sense. Basically, usually your phone is in the back pocket, unless it's a bad dial, bad click, or I don't know how to call it, but anyway.
All right, guys, listen, I want to heartfelt thank you for your generosity with the knowledge, for pioneering a blue ocean, for publishers who spend most of their time in very red oceans. I want to thank Brightcom for inviting me to moderate this session. It was a blast. And I want to thank everybody who joined in, and I can tell you that the people who joined at the beginning stay until the end, which is always a good sign for a webinar. So I want to thank all of you. Etai, if you have any closing words.
I just want to say thank you for everyone. Actually, thanks for the participants. Thank you, Daniel, for hosting the panels. Thank you, Ron, Lior, and Andy. We will be happy to answer any question, and this is actually an exciting opportunity for us. And this is a product that we are going to offer. This is an internal product. We haven't bought any company or something like that. We're going to establish it internally, and I really expect to work with you guys. So thanks for joining.
Recorded. It should be noted, if anybody wants to revisit the information, it is recorded, and we will probably share it online in the next few days, early next week.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.